Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome to Jim Brimstone, Devil Advocate, which is a game where you're a lawyer who must defend indie game character clients like Andy and Leyley, the dealer from Buckshot Roulette, and Banban from Garden of Banban. Case 1, State vs. Groves. Alright, just remember what I said earlier. Just stick to that, and you two will be off the hook in no time. Court is now in session. Our case today is the State versus Austin and Leyley Groves. The defendant will be represented by Public Attorney Jim Brimstone. Mr. Brimstone, I understand that your client is pleading not guilty to the charge. Legally distinct, Andy and Leyley. That is correct, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Connors. What is the State's case against the defendant? We believe that Austin and Leyley Groves are guilty of first-degree murder and acts of cannibalism involving their neighbor, among other things. The two of them were found yesterday afternoon in their neighbor's apartment by the police after they received a noise complaint. When they entered the apartment, the two suspects were covered head to toe in the victim's blood. Objection! Speculation. How do you know it was blood? Could have been jam. We literally had it tested. Their clothes had blood from the victim on them. How do you know it was their clothes? How are you so sure? Did you taste it? How do you know what blood tastes like? I know what blood tastes like. What? No, we had our machines examined and it matched with our DNA database. Oh, so you're trusting a narrative from a vampiric cyborg now. Wow. Your Honor, I'm going to request a motion to dismiss the DNA evidence. You know, on account of vampiric cyborgs. Yeah, exactly. We cannot allow vampiric cyborgs to get in the way of serving justice in this trial. Mr. Brimstone, if the substance found on the suspects wasn't blood, then what do you believe it was? Ketchup, pasta sauce, or blood? We could be like 4D chess and just say it was blood. Pasta sauce. It's pasta sauce, obviously. These little goofballs were just making dinner for their neighbor. Isn't that right? Oh, yeah. We're making a lot of spaghetti, among other things. Well, we also found a knife lodged into the victim's body with both Austin and Leyley's fingerprints on the handle. The victim's body had a large stab wound in her abdomen area. Objection! Irrelevant. If the knife had their fingerprints on it, that does not mean they used it on the neighbor. That actually is an argument. They could have just used that knife to chop the tomatoes for the pasta sauce, for all we know. Mr. and Mrs. Groves, where were you at the time of the victim's death? In bed together? I mean, we were in the room. We saw it happen. She invited us over for, lunch yesterday. We got to work, and later on an altercation ensued. Things got a little heated, and then the knife ended up in her. How did the knife end up in the victim's body? Seppuku? Tripped, murder, burglar. I'm so tempted to hit this one. But it's probably tripped. No, let's hit it. Really? Was the pasta really that bad? It's kind of funny. Tripped. She tripped. Yes, the victim tripped and knocked the knife out of Leyley's hand, and it landed into her stomach. What? This caused her body to fall over onto the pot of pasta sauce, covering everyone. 'Twas quite a tragedy, a loss of life, and an excellent meal. Huh? That does not seem very likely. Where is your evidence for this? Your Honor, is eyewitness testimony not enough? You two witnesses occur, correct? The knife went in and liquids are flying everywhere. Yep. Okay. Well, let's say that they didn't murder the victim. When police arrived on the scene, Mr. and Mrs. Groves were in the process of devouring the victim's corpse in their underwear. We have body cam footage to prove this. That alone should prove them guilty beyond reasonable doubt. This is true. The footage was gruesome. I could barely watch. Yes. Footage of my clients consuming a human corpse would be quite damning. If that is what they were doing. Are you implying they weren't eating the victim? Indeed. That's because they were actually eating each other. I wish we had more hearts so we could try out the other options. But we don't. It's shared between all questions. Meatballs, nothing, candy, flesh. Meatballs. They were eating the meatballs that were spilled onto the victim. Yeah, you can't let it go to waste. What? Think about it. You wouldn't let such a delicious dish go to waste, would you? The juicy tomato paste. The aromatic basil. Think of how good that must have tasted. The meat was quite delicious. The body cam footage didn't capture an act of cannibalism. It captured two innocent people enjoying a delicious snack. That is not a perspective I would have considered. Plus, I had extra human flavor. Your Honor, my clients had nothing to do with the death of the victim in this case. It was simply two youngsters making the best of a terrible situation. I rest my case. Okay then. Miss Connors, how will we respond to that? I'm at a loss for words. Very well. If that is all, then I will dismiss the jury for deliberation. Wait, what? Court is adjourned. The jury finds the defendant not guilty. Defendant walks free. Nice work. Case 2, State versus the Gambler. Yo, sorry I'm late. I have a huge hangover right now. A little too many margaritas last night. Some good bars down in hell. No worries. It's all good, man. Court is now in session. Our first case today is the State versus the Gambler. Once again, the defendant will be represented by Public Attorney Jim Brimstone. Great. Not this guy again. Not guilty, I assume. Correct, Your Honor. Alright then, Miss Connors, what is the State's case against the defendant? Well, Your Honor, the State conducted a police raid at an underground nightclub last week. At the establishment, there was a plenitude of illegal activities occurring such as drug trades, prostitution, and gambling. And Mr. Gambler here was one of the culprits. You can probably guess what they were doing. It was no ordinary gambling, however, no. He was gambling with people's lives. Russian roulette. It was shotgun roulette. They could have just been playing a harmless game of poker. A photograph taken of the scene clearly displayed a gun on the table. It was evident that what was occurring. But what type of gun was it? Ha ha ha! You had the same train of thought. Russian roulette is typically played with a revolver. There wasn't a revolver. There was a rocket launcher. Shotgun. It was a shotgun. You can't play Russian roulette with a shotgun, therefore that's not what occurred. Actually, you can. There's a special system involved by using blank shells. They're randomly inserted into the gun, simulating the effect of empty cylinders. Dude, you're not supposed to say that. Oh, Oops. Sorry. So you meant to use the gun to take the lives of others as a form of gambling? Of course not. My client was simply showing off his vintage collectible to his... Yeah, it totally was. Law. Dude! Whoops. Me and my big mouth. So you meant to use the shotgun in a variant of Russian roulette. Is there any reason you don't use a standard revolver? I like the higher stakes. It's much harder to survive a point-blank shotgun blast. No gray area. You're either dead, or you're not. How many lives have you claimed with this sick, twisted game? 0, Your Honor. My client has never killed anyone before. And by anyone, we mean anyone that matters. Really, creepy if I'm wrong, but pointing a gun at someone and shooting sounds a lot like murder. Indeed. If Mr. Gambler does this for a living, then that would make him a serial killer. How is this not murder? I mean, it was a skill issue. Fake bullets. It's a skill issue. How is skill involved? Wouldn't it defeat the total point of gambling? You clearly did not play the game. Luck issue? Quite simply, it's an issue of luck, Your Honor. My client does not pull the trigger of intent to kill, only to see the desired outcome. He's merely a vessel for the will of the universe. Man, deepest lore. Can't argue with that. Besides, those who participate in the game signed a waiver beforehand. They knew what they were getting into. Therefore, my client is not liable for the deaths of others. Objection! Waivers are not applicable if gross negligence or intentional harm is involved. I would argue that, as a part of the game, intentional harm is the desired outcome. That's how you win, right? Not necessarily. You can also win by your opponent shooting themselves, which is not intentional harm by my client. This is getting nowhere. Mr. Gambler, let me ask you a question. In the evidence that was submitted, there were 4 shells found inside of the gun. Out of those 4 shells, which one did you intend to fire at your opponent? Wait, shell 4. The 4th shell was a live round. That means you tend to fire a live round. That was a luck thing. Shell 1. Shell 2. I've heard enough. The jury's released for deliberation. Court is adjourned. Jury finds the defendant guilty. It's either shell 1 or shell 3. The first shell was a live round. That means you tend to fire a live round. How would I know which one's the live round? Shell 1. First shell was a live round. That means you tend to fire a live round. Oh, it is randomized. What? I guess this is just what's like a bit of a play on the game. Like, it's randomized, which is the correct one. Shell live? According to the evidence, that round was a blank. So you intended to fire a blank round. Sounds pretty innocent to me. Your Honor, this does not prove the suspect's innocence. He was literally running an underground gambling ring that actively involved the deaths of other people. Dozens, possibly even hundreds are dead because of this man. That's not for you to decide, Miss Connors. I know, it's just... Mr. Brimstone, do you have any other evidence you would like to present? None, Your Honor. I rest my case. Very well. The jury is now dismissed for deliberation. Court is adjourned. Jury finds the defendant guilty. Shell 1. Shell 2, okay. Whew, got it. Whew. So the heart system is a little bit of a... You need to get above the 2 hearts. Finn walks free, nice work. Case 3, State versus Banban. Banban. So then they call me a week later all like, dude, all my limbs are gone, what the hell? And I was like, damn, I hope you have insurance because that will cost you an arm and a leg. Haha, wow, dude. That's insane. Yep, anyway, that's how I lost my law license. Court is now in session. Our case study today is the State versus... Is it Banban? Go ahead and... Oh, Banban. Correct. Yet again represented by Public Attorney Jim Brimstone. Been a busy week for you, hmm? Indubitably, Your Honor. Gotta defend all these indie games. Let me guess, your client is innocent in this case. Your Honor, I believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And I can assure you, I will not be proven my client is guilty. I certainly will. Objection. Nobody asked. Ms. Connors, you may now present the state's case against the defendant. A few today ago, the police investigated an abandoned building that was originally for kindergarten. Mr. Banban is the owner and the main mascot for the kindergarten, and was still living there when they discovered him. When investigating the facility, they discovered a large facility with an underground network of tunnels and rooms seemingly infinite. There were rooms filled with scientific equipment and lots of large containers of a substance called duvanium. This is not something that should be directly under a school for children. Objection! Irrelevant. How can you be certain the kindergarten and the facility are connected? Murals of Mr. Banban and the other mascots for the kindergarten were plastered across the facility at every turn. It was almost comical how related the two were. That is very odd. Why would there be such a large structure under this kindergarten? Government project, aliens, playground, evil stuff. Playground? It was just a large playground for the kiddos to run around in. Bullshit. That was not a safe environment for children at all. Police found large, bombless pits that had platforms which required jumps children could not make, and some players. Sounds like your average playground to me. There are also these creatures lurking around in the darkness. Investigators believe that these creatures were previous employees of the kindergarten, transformed into hideous monsters. Whoa, now that's just rude. And a little bit racist, if I might add. Like, we're right here, dude. Ms. Connors, please do not make rude remarks in this courtroom. Have some respect. Okay. Let me ask you this, Mr. Banban. Did you transform your employees into monsters? Objection. Leading. What? Your Honor. Objection sustained. Mr. Banban, did you used to be a human? I was, yes. We all were. It was an accident with the duvanium. What were you planning to use the duvanium for? World domination. Infinite food hack. Research. Marketable plushies. I mean, technically, actually, marketable plushies. Correct, that duvanium was being used to give everyone a living, breathing plushie. Everyone needs a friend, right? Imagine having a teddy bear that can walk, talk, and sing. Where are you going with this? Shh, they only know about the pancreas. Your Honor, this is ridiculous. They're obviously just coming up with lies on the spot. That's all this bloke has done for the past few days. Just lie and lie. I'm going to file a motion for a retrial. There is factual evidence of serious felonies being swept under the rug. Ms. Connors, do not let personal opinions get in the way of court proceedings. Look at the fracking evidence! There is a body cam footage of the suspect chasing down a police officer trying to eat him. How does that not prove beyond a reasonable doubt the suspect is guilty? It was tag. Mr. Banban, what were you doing in that video? Want a hug? Your Honor, my client just wanted a hug. He was trapped in that facility for so long. He missed having company. Yes, my client might appear to have horns and sharp teeth, but they are truly a darling on the inside. Because deep down, they're still a human. Yes. I rest my case. Okay, Miss Connors, any further evidence you'd like to discuss? I'll take that as a no. The jury is now dismissed for deliberation. Court is adjourned. No. 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 This is all wrong. The evidence in this case proves that Feng is guilty. I'm not gonna let the justice system take me down like this. And if it is, Hey, wait. Did I take it down with me? Whoa! What the fuck? Miss Connors, please put the gun. The jury finds the defendant not guilty. Defendant walks free. Nice work. We alive? Case 4, State vs. Connors. Phew, man, what a week, huh? Surprised you weren't able to find a better lawyer. Guess you're stuck with me again. Don't worry, I got you covered. The end. Made 72 hours of Ludum Dare 55. Thank you for playing. So that's it for Jim Brimstone. So this game was created by Apple Love Studio. I played a few games of theirs. They've also released some other much more longer form games like commercial release stuff. They're a fairly good developer, and they definitely have a distinct, I'd say, sprite style. Because whenever you play one of the games, without even like looking at who's like making it, like I instantly recognize the style. Like, alright, that's that developer. But I think the overall, from like their various games I played, including this one, that their greatest strength is not just necessarily just the style. Their style does work, but they do actually have like a decent kind of sense of wit to their writing. So they're all fairly enjoyable. I mean, even this one conceptually, like just the idea of like, all right, let's take some of the more standout hit indie games of like the last like couple of years or so and throw them in like a court case. I have a feeling that Andy and Leyley were the core ones behind the idea, and then like everyone else got kind of added later. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my guess. But the most important thing is we got everyone off. They can go back to their worlds and do whatever they need to do, which is a good thing. Anyway, so thank you all for watching me play Jim Brimstone. I'll see you guys later, and take it easy.